In this video, I will tell you how to make mash from sugar. This is the simplest type of mash, so it's very accessible to everyone, especially in winter when there are no fruits or vegetables and the jam has already been eaten. For this, we will need 6 kilograms of sugar, regular baker's yeast, 2 packs of 100 grams each, that's 200 grams, and 30 liters of warm settled water, preferably without any chemicals in it. You can use distiller's yeast depending on your preference, but the taste will basically be the same. So, let's take the water. Pour it into a stainless steel container. You can use a food grade plastic or enameled container, but under no circumstances should you use aluminum or galvanized ones. Pour in 30 liters of water. You can see that the water is starting to steam. Hold your hand over it. The water temperature should be about 38 degrees Celsius. Your hand should not feel hot. You can measure the sugar using a measuring cup or regular scales. Ideally, the fermentation vessel should be small because using too much sugar will result in incomplete fermentation. The mash will be sweet, and if there is too little sugar, the mash may simply spoil and develop mold, and nothing will work out. You'll just get a sour taste. Now take the sugar and pour it into the water. Remember, it's 6 kilograms of sugar. And rinse out whatever is left inside the bucket and pour it back into our water. Use a sturdy spatula to gently stir the mixture until it is completely and thoroughly dissolved, ensuring a smooth consistency. The sweet syrup should taste like very sweet tea. It should feel as if you put 3 teaspoons of sugar into a glass of water. After the granulated sugar has completely and thoroughly dissolved, take the active yeast and slowly but steadily start carefully adding it to the warm sugar syrup. Carefully crumble it into small manageable portions and then thoroughly mix it evenly throughout the entire mixture. Sweet warm water, they are triggered to develop, and literally within 10 to 15 minutes they begin to multiply actively and turn the sugar into alcohol. 200 grams will be quite enough. Some people add up to half a kilogram, but that's not correct. It's an unnecessary waste of money that doesn't affect the quality or the fermentation time of the sugar syrup into mash. And also mix it thoroughly so there are no lumps. After the yeast has completely dissolved, characteristic air bubbles appear within 5 minutes, indicating that the yeast is alive and starting to multiply actively. A specific bread-like aroma appears and it smells very pleasant. Now our future mash is ready with the sugar. Next it needs to be placed in a warm spot, preferably near a radiator, and covered with something warm. Some people use an aquarium heater to speed up the fermentation process. Well, I don't use that, so mine ferments for about a week. Of course, there are super fast recipes that allow you to make mash in just a day. That's done in an old washing machine. But the mash will turn out to be of very poor quality and will smell like yeast. And that's not what we want. So now put it in a warm place and try it in a week. How do you know if it's ready or not? To check, you need to take a match, light it and bring it close to the mash. If it goes out, it means it's not ready yet. If it keeps burning, then the mash is ready to either be consumed as is or used to make moonshine and other alcoholic beverages.
And carefully cover the canister with a lid, securely, and ensure it is properly sealed. I just replaced the standard clamp with this kind of frame. The photo isn't very hygienic, but it's practical. I installed 2 bolts on the neck of the aluminum concrete with welded washers. The frame has 2 holes precisely the width of these bolts, and all that's left is to tighten these 2 bolts with nuts. This will ensure that the frame presses the lid tightly and there will be no leakage of moonshine vapors. To check the airtightness of the lid's fit, you need to blow into the outlet pipe, and if there is no air leaking anywhere, it is airtight. If air does not escape, then it is ready. Place the canister on the fire. We set the canister on the gas stove. I use a regular laboratory distiller as a cooling system. It is made of heat-resistant glass, securely secured to a wooden plank made of oak, and with the help of a small thin string, we tie it to one of the handles of the canister. Here, there is a metal cap with two fittings installed on the supply hose. We place the jar, unscrew the lid, and connect a hose to the outlet from the lid of the canister. This drying tube is very convenient. The only downside is that due to constant humidity, this lid rots over time and needs to be replaced with a new one. However, it is standard, so it fits any mayonnaise. The hose for connecting water to the cooling system is made of thin, flexible rubber material. A fitting from the gas stove, which is typically used for connecting gas lines, is installed here. A 3/4 faucet, which is a common size for household plumbing, is unscrewed from the spout of a standard kitchen mixer. This faucet is then carefully screwed onto the thread of the spout to ensure a tight fit. Now we turn on the cold water slowly and check for any leaks that might occur. The laboratory cooler was filled with cold water, and the excess slightly flowed into the sink. We carefully make a hole in a regular nylon cap, insert the hose for the moonshine output, and securely put it on this bottle. Now the hose won't pop out anywhere, and the vapors of the moonshine won't evaporate as intensely. I just need to light the gas, turn it up to full power, and wait for the mash to start boiling. I light the two front burners. The boiling of the canister of mash takes place over the course of approximately 1 hour, so I won't turn on the cooling system just yet. We will start working after an hour. Currently, right now. Here the mash has started to boil, and the first drops of moonshine have begun to flow. It is necessary to collect 10% of the total amount of moonshine. These will be the heads. We take everything else up to 45 degrees. The strength of the first distillation is 70 degrees. It is strong, but it cannot be consumed. The smell is very sharp and unpleasant. It can be used for rubbing or for lighting fires, for grilling shashlik. I will not do the second distillation because the moonshine... The fruitiness from the pear will be spoiled by the second distillation, and it will not be as pronounced. The strength of the moonshine is 60 degrees, which is normal. I will not filter the moonshine, but I will dilute it to a strength of 45 degrees. Currently, it has a strength of 60 degrees, so for 2.5 liters of moonshine, it is necessary to add 700 grams of water. I use regular purified bottled water from the store. It won't cause cloudiness, and the clarity won't change. We dilute the pear moonshine in stainless steel containers. This is a bucket. Using plastic is not recommended. First, we pour a certain amount of water into the bucket, and after that, we add the moonshine. Now we pour the moonshine in here. As a result, the strength of the pear moonshine turned out to be 45 degrees.